Um, now I've got the camera on me and I'm on stage.
All right. Um. So to start, just say say your name, like where you're from, what you do,
Sure.
like a short intro of yourself.
All right. My name is Michael Smith. I'm from Michigan. I'm living in Boston right now. Was an opera singer for a little while. I have a couple of advanced degrees, and I'm teaching middle school chorus and general music in the Newton Public School system.
All right, good. And then the first question is, what is your current perception of the American dream?
The what?
Current perception of the American dream.
Gotcha. That's a tough one. My current perception of the American dream, I think, is that it's still there, but it's very difficult to find a path to get to it. Most people either don't have the time and energy because they're so tired from just surviving to get to it. A lot of people don't believe that it's possible, and the few people that are given a path right off the bat don't realize how lucky they were. It's still there, but it comes with an extremely strong price, extremely high price. So,
And how do you expect it to change in the future? Do you expect the American dream to be easier to attain or harder to obtain?
well, honestly, I think that's gonna. I, I think that depends on the future of our next couple of elections. The problem is we don't talk to each other with differing views. We immediately assume the other person is the enemy rather than the part of the solution. Um, and we don't get things done because of that. And if we keep along that path, the American dream is going to get farther and farther away. The most fundamental part that would make it easier is investment in people and infrastructure. The decision that's going to make it harder and harder to keep and get to, I should say, is a politics of destruction, bigotry, and hate, and ramping up tons of spending on the military industrial complex that we don't need right now.
Um, let's see, what's another question? I think of another good one.
Right?
How do you think it's changed from like the past to like how it is now? Like let's say 50 years ago, what do you think would be the average American dream?
Well, that one is actually very complex. So here's the thing: the American dream was a little bit easier to get to because we'd already made investments in people and infrastructure in healthcare to a certain extent. But back then, like back in my parents' time and my time, when I was growing up and whatnot, there were fewer people that had access to it. So it was easier to get to. Nowadays, there are more kinds of people that have access to the American dream that make it more difficult to get to right now because we haven't grown enough to have that much traffic on the freeway, so to speak. In the 40s and 50s, 30s, 40s and 50s and whatnot, you kind of had to be a certain ethnicity. You had to be a certain um, you had to grow up a certain way, a certain religion and whatnot to really have access to the American dream. And for the most part back then, that worked for the people who had access. Over the last 40 or 50 years, we've increased the path, the access to the American dream without increasing the width of the highway the path to get on it, if that makes sense. And I think that that's why we're fighting each other to get there right now.
All right, thank you. Really
Mm-hmm.
good. How have things been going for you?
Not bad, not bad. How about you?
Pretty good. Got a lot of homework, but
I bet. And
like
you're a sophomore now.
sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, you're about getting it. You're finally getting into all your classes that where that they become the heavyweight stuff.
Yeah, and I'm taking mostly AP and honors classes, so that doesn't help any.
Yeah, that'll do really well for you because it shortens the amount of time you have to spend in college, and it cuts down the amount of money you have to pay in credits. I don't, depending on where you go, you have to pay for the credits, the AP credits that are transferred to you. You know, on your college transcript, you have to pay a certain amount to get those on there. I think, or at least that's the way it used to be. But you know, paying those credits is better than having to spend an extra year taking, you know, AP Psych or AP World History or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Getting
take
it
it.
out of the way now.
Um,
So, what else has been going on?
Nothing much really. Just doing a lot of homework, getting ready for robotics to start up here pretty soon.
Yeah. What's the next project for robotics going on?
So like basically the way our season works is we have a 6 week build period to build for a game that we don't know until January 19th, and then we have 6 weeks to build a robot for it, and then like the first competition start.
Right.
Now we're just getting our shop ready for January.
Okay. And that's when the competition is in January?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, the game comes out in January, and then we get 6 weeks to build.
Oh, okay. So right now you're doing all the prep work,
Yeah.
building skills, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're teaching a lot of the freshmen. We're deciding who's going to be doing the FRC, which is the more competitive stuff.
Uh-huh. I remember that was you last year.
Yeah.
Now, are these freshmen coming in on the varsity team like you were, or are they JV?
A lot of them are only going to be on JV because, like, our goal is to have, like, 4 or 5 kids from every grade. Like, right now we have 3 juniors, 3 sophomores, and 4 seniors. But, like, we had 7 seniors, so when they all left, we had, like, 8 people. So we had, like, nobody.
Right.
We don't want to have more people that don't know what they're doing than people that do know what they're doing. So
Yeah, no, that's true.
we're struggling with Avondale right now. We're trying to allow them to make us do a JV program, but they're kind of like iffy about it.
The administration, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's always going to be problems with that. It's just kind of frustrating, you know.
Have you heard
A lot of times, the administration, pardon me, sorry about that. They think they're doing the right thing, and they're really, really, really not.
Yeah, like
We
kid, you can't be on the team. Like we want another option, but like,
we just went up to New Hampshire this weekend to the Highland Games, so it was very fun. It was very fun. But I've been running myself ragged. I think I might have caught a cold. Bummed out, man. I don't have time to be sick. You know how squirrely 6th through 8th graders get.
Yeah, 8th graders are a little bit.
Yeah, the 6th graders are pretty great. The 8th graders are a little weird.
Yeah, because 6th graders when they first come in, they're scared, so they normally do good. Then 8th grade, they're annoying.
So, but other than that, school's going all right.
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
Very nice.
Administration's messing up on a lot of things.
Right.
We had like 10 teachers leave, I think.
You had what?
We've had like 10 teachers leave.
Oh, really? From Avondale?
Yeah, they're not paying like nowhere near what other schools are paying.
Yeah, I know. Julie Carlson left. She was actually my journalism professor, journalism teacher when I was there. So, and I just heard a lot of people are, not pleased.
We had a teacher come, and then 2 years he like basically straight up quit. He went there, Avondale, as he was a kid, then went to Avondale as a teacher, and he wasn't getting paid. Just like,
wow. Huh. Yeah, you have to pay teachers well, man.
Which is like every day we just go there and I just do homework because we have the sub for one of my classes, for one of my electives. It's like
seriously, what's the elective?
Applied tech and robotics.
And there's no real teacher there. There's just
a
sub that basically is a babysitter.
Yeah, had to go to a different school.
Wow. I mean, I understand if you can't fill that right away, but geez, you know. So you just use it as like a study hall?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, well, that way you don't have to worry about it later. That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we did have like our study hall was really good last year, and now we had a petition signed this year with 700 kids and like 50 teachers that signed it because now we have like 40 kids in every study hall room, and like the way it's laid out to work is there's supposed to be a math teacher, a history teacher, an English teacher, and a science teacher. So like if you're struggling with something, you go to that teacher.
Right, for extra help. That's what a study hall is supposed to be all about.
And the way it's laid out right now, we have 3 teachers, a math, a foreign language, and an English. And there's like 35 kids in my class. The first day, we didn't even have enough desks. We had to get more desks.
That's like recess.
Yeah.
That's not study hall.
Yeah.
Study hall shouldn't have more than 16 or 17 kids in it.
Yeah, that's how it was last year. Every class had between 15 and 20.
I mean, did the school board cut, staffing, or did Auburn Hills reduce taxes, or what? What's the deal?
It was the school board reducing funding. Now Avondale, like, it used to be how you had to live in like their school district area. But like we have so many kids now because we allow them to come from everywhere for one. And then they say like, oh yeah, spots are full. And if spots are full, you're allowed to buy a spot for like 4,000 a year, I think it is. Avondale's doing some messed up stuff.
What? That's shady.
Yeah, it's really sketchy.
That's shady. That because if so they're accepting people from outside of Auburn Hills,
Yeah, like we have
from
kids
outside the school district.
like Bloomfield, Troy, everywhere, pretty much.
Wow, I would be pissed if I were living there.
Yeah.
So interesting. I didn't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, sometimes I wish I hadn't moved away, but sometimes I'm really glad that I don't live there because I'd be so pissed all the time. I'd be so angry all the time because it just doesn't seem like it's going the right way. I mean, the experience that I had there is not what you guys have. Although you guys have a nicer building now.
Building's nicer.
Yeah, exactly. So what's going on with your mom these days?
She's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
She is driving for on time. So like she drives disabled adults to like their workplace.
Oh, good. Is she doing okay? Does she like it, or?
Yeah, she likes it.
Yeah. How's Mike doing these days?
He's doing pretty good. He's up north right now.
Yeah. I thought you guys were gonna have to move out of that house that you were renting. Like she wanted to sell it or something.
No, she doesn't want to sell it because it was her parents' house that she grew up in, and she just like wants to rent it, and that's it. And she told us there'd be an opportunity to buy it, but we're thinking about moving out pretty soon here.
Yeah, it's a nice house though. I mean, it's the great thing about it is you have your own room.
Yeah, it's
You
nice.
know,
Everything's falling apart though in the house.
really.
All the plumbing's super super old. And, like Mike even offered to fix it for just the price of it, and they don't want to do it. They're like,
Oh, for the cost of the plumbing. Yeah, for the cost of the materials.
and they don't want to do it. So
Wow. Huh. That's crazy.
never even met the real owner. She lives in California. We've only went through the agent.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Where do you think you guys would move? Has your mom talked about it?
She's thinking either like up north a little bit or down south a little bit. I'm not sure exactly where.
But after you graduate, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, unless you have to move while you're in high school,
yeah.
don't. Make a break afterwards. So where are you thinking about going still?
For
So-
college,
Yeah.
I'm thinking Michigan Tech.
Okay.
The only thing that sucks is it's way up in the UP.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. What draws you to Michigan Tech?
They have like a lot of good stuff for robotics and mechanical engineering in general. And there's a pretty good scholarship I could get through the robotics thing I'm doing right now. So,
That's good. Yeah, do as many scholarships and all that kind of stuff as you can possibly do. I mean, I have a, a huge ton of student loans right now, but there's this program that was signed into effect about 2009, 2010 called when they did all the financial reform bills and stuff like that, the student loan reform bill. It's called Public Service Loan Forgiveness. So after 10 years of payments, whether that can only be a certain portion of my income, right? Um, while I'm working at a public position like public schools or working for a city or something like that, after I make 10 years of payments, the rest of my student loan balance is forgiven,
mm,
which is great. So, you know, because at this point,